Urgent Steelers fan! Look at what just happened! Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest your team news. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Seahawks trade DK Metcalf to Steelers. Full details. And great, it's been a whirlwind week for the Seattle Seahawks and DK Metcalf. One that came to a rather stunning conclusion on Sunday night. Just days after the wide receiver requested a trade out of Seattle, the Seahawks dealt him to the Pittsburgh Steelers in exchange for a second-round draft pick. The pick is for the upcoming draft in April, which is good news, but the fallout from this trade will likely last much longer than that. Metcalf's exit comes just days after Geno Smith was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders, and it's hard to not see both moves as one, even though they were separate deals. We know that the Seahawks tried to package Metcalf and Smith in a deal to the Raiders for Max Crosby, an offer that was quickly rejected, but that was the first indication that their time in Seattle was coming to an end. It turns out they both requested trade after contract talks didn't go the way either wanted, and it's not a surprise that Metcalf and Smith got rich new deals as soon as they were dealt. Metcalf is set to sign a 5-year, $150 million deal with the Steelers to lock him in as a key piece of Pittsburgh's core for the foreseeable future. Smith is set to get around $45 million per season in a new deal with the Raiders, which could be viewed as a win for the Seahawks in that they won't be on the hook for 2 monster contracts. Then again, it's hard to see ways either trade was a win since upgrading will be a lot easier said than done. There are 2 ways to look at the Metcalf trade. Neither one feels particularly great. As a standalone, the Seahawks essentially moved off a star receiver in order to avoid being on the hook for what amounts to $30 million per season for the next 5 years. Metcalf is a game-changing player, but the question is whether or not he's worth all of that when the Seahawks have more than a few areas of the roster to improve. Getting a second-round pick back for him at least puts Seattle in a position to replace him in the draft, but that's still a premium pick that could be used elsewhere. Seattle also has Jackson Smith-Njigba, who now becomes WR1 and has even more pressure on him than he already did after the Seahawks let Tyler Lockett go. Of course, it's hard to not see this trade in tandem with the Smith deal. Seattle was a playoff team 2 years ago and has now essentially hit the reset button for a 2nd and 3rd round pick in this year's draft. That's what the sum total of the return for 2 of the best players on the roster is, which means John Schneider has better hit those picks out of the park or risk being on the wrong end of these trades. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest, the black and gold news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Steelers. Free agent quarterback target will sign elsewhere if the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking outward for a new veteran quarterback this offseason. Another name has just reportedly left the market. Reports emerged on Monday that former Minnesota Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold has agreed to terms on a new deal with the Seattle Seahawks. It's reportedly a 3-year deal, with the value varying depending on who reports it. NFL media says it's a $100 million deal, while ESPN's Adam Schefter reported a $110 million deal with $55 million guaranteed. Late last week, the Seahawks traded Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders, opening up their starting job. Darnold was number 2 on Pro Football Talk's list of top 100 free agents after his best season as a pro in 2024. He completed 2% of his passes for 4,119 yards, with 35 touchdowns and 12 interceptions in 17 regular season games. His last 2 games with the Vikings were not memorable, especially in the wild-card loss to the Rams when Darnold completed 25 off 40 passes for 245 yards with a touchdown and an interception. But he clearly played well enough throughout the rest of the season to earn interest from teams in need of a signal caller. The Steelers were just one of several teams reportedly interested in the 27-year-old former number 3 overall draft pick in 2018. Steelers to sign veteran CB Darius Slay. While all the attention is on what the Pittsburgh Steelers will do at quarterback, after trading for superstar receiver DK Metcalf and signing him to a massive $150 million extension, the Steelers have added a veteran free agent cornerback to help solidify that room. Super Bowl champion Darius Slay is signing with the Steelers, per Jordan Schultz of Fox Sports. Slay was recently released by the Eagles after helping Philadelphia defeat the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl LIX. Slay took a slightly lesser role in 2024 with the emergence of Quinyon Mitchell as the team's top cornerback. That said, he is a six-time Pro Bowler and a former All-Pro whose veteran presence will add a lot to the room. We've seen the Steelers make this exact type of move before when they signed Patrick Peterson in 2023. Slay remains in the state of Pennsylvania, crossing over to Pittsburgh, and hopefully providing both veteran leadership and quality play. The former second-round pick will be entering his age 34 season, coming off his first season without an interception dating back to his rookie year 2013. He did, however, tally a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and 49 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. Despite his lack of interceptions in 2024, Slay earned a 75, 5 PFF coverage grade this past season, which ranked 16th among cornerbacks with 250 coverage snaps. He tied to lead that cohort with 17 forced incompletions, while allowing the 5th lowest catch rate in coverage among such CBs at 51, 7 per PFF. Presumably, barring a splash play for a pro-ready cornerback in the draft, Slay will play opposite third-year cornerback Joey Porter Jr. along the perimeter. Veteran Dante Jackson, who played opposite Porter last season, is set to become a free agent at the start of the new league year. And now, Steelers fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for the black and gold. I'll be back any moment with more Steeler Nation news. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.